is Maxine Murphy. My mum, Audrey Lucy, arrived in Thallon by train in early 1953. She was 23 and Thallon was her first permanent posting as a teacher. To say she was underwhelmed by Thallon at first glance would be an understatement. She would have liked nothing more than to board the first return trip to Brisbane, but her train was to last for 6 weeks due to flooding. Dad was working at the station when Mum arrived feeling tired and a little anxious when she couldn't find her luggage. Dad did nothing to allay her concerns. According to Mum, she asked this nice young man, Clyde Albeck, where it might be, and he said, "Don't worry, ma'am, it'll only go to Durumbandy." Mum was horrified, not knowing that Durumbandy was the end of the line and her luggage would be back in Thallon by nightfall. It certainly wasn't love at first sight because Dad took off with a mate to work and travelled the world. Fate intervened, however, when Dad received the news that his father had died and he returned to Thallon to run the family carrier business. All 4 Albeck boys worked on the railway at some point. 2 brothers left Thallon but continued to work for the railway until their retirements. Work, weekend sport and social events filled their courting days. A special train ran to take the players and their wives for footy games in Gundawindi. Mum and Dad married in 1955 and the 7 of us arrived at regular intervals. The railway was the lifeblood of our family and the town. Dad's carrier business relied heavily on the railway. Most freight came and went by train. Fuel and supplies came by train and wool, grain and stock was rail freighted to Brisbane. Some of my siblings' memories of the railway as kids and teens. The impact on the town and school of railway families, often large, departing. How excited we'd all be when relations and friends arrived on the passenger train for a visit. My older sister can remember running like crazy with Mum's letters to her parents in Brisbane. Mum always managed to miss the post office deadline. How we loved trying to beat the train after staying for afternoon school sport. We didn't want to get caught on the wrong side of the tracks. Putting our ear to the track to see if we could hear the train coming. Counting the number of wheat wagons at harvest time. We were easily entertained. Trying to summon up the courage to stand on the railway bridge sidings while a train roared past. My younger sister's miserable Monday morning train trips to Durumbandy and the happy trips home on Friday afternoons. She boarded at the Durumbandy hostel during the school week. The long trips home from boarding school. Exciting for the first half, but the novelty wearing off by the time we got to Gundawindi. Putting on makeup at Torwood so we'd look presentable on arrival, probably to impress the lad porter at the time. Our family's relationship with the railway continued when Mum and Dad took over the management of the BP fuel depot. Twice a week, rail cars filled with super and diesel fuel would arrive in Thallon, ready to be emptied into the huge overhead tanks at the depot. At one stage, Thallon had 2 bulk fuel depots. After Dad's death, Mum continued on as manager until her retirement. The Albecks' connection to the railway continued in another direction when my sister married the local train driver. The McPherson family lived in one of the railway houses in Pine Street. Ken would blow the whistle when he was on the outskirts of Thallon, much to the delight of his young daughters who would stand on the back porch waving madly. His rendition of Jingle Bells at Christmas amused one and all. My nieces can recall the collision between a truck and the train at the level crossing. The train driver suffered superficial injuries and my sister patched him up at their dining room table. The closure of the Durumbandy railway station signalled the beginning of the end for Thallon, a once thriving town eventually becoming a shell of its former self. A pity, I think.